Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Stomp This Way. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. We're back with another Jaws movie. Are you ready?
Oh, you know it.
Are you ready? Andrew, what Jaws movie are we reviewing today?
We are reviewing the Great Jaws 3
That's
3D.
right. Also originally released as Jaws 3D, but when they released it on home video and people didn't have a way to watch it on 3D, they retitled it Jaws 3. But yeah, the Blu-ray disc that we have actually came with as a bonus feature the 3D version of the movie, but you have to have a 3D enabled TV, and I don't even think they make. I think I looked here a while back. I don't even think they make 3D TVs anymore. I think they were kind of a thing like in the mid to late 2010s that they made, like, you know, flat screen HD 3D TVs. But I think, you know, they were expensive to make, expensive to buy, and not all that popular. So they quit making them. Because we had one for a little while. They had like the glasses and everything.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they barely worked. And the 3D thing. And the glasses had the batteries that didn't last very long. And it's just kind of a pain in the ass all around. But anyway, we watched it in 2D. Standard 2D format. So, Anyway, you want some production trivia?
Sure.
Well, did you know that this was originally pitched as a spoof that they were going to call Jaws 3 People Zero? Now, I would watch that movie. And honestly, that would probably really the only real way to go with this movie, but, you know, it is what it is. And they brought on the National Lampoon guys to get involved, write a script. They commissioned a script from Todd Carroll and John Hughes.
Ooh.
John Hughes, of course, pretty famous guy. And they were going to bring in Bo Derek and Richard Dreyfuss to star. But eventually the studio kind of got cold feet on the spoof idea. The execs themselves had a lot of arguments over what the film should be, what it should be rated. And then at one point, Spielberg threatened to never do business with the studio again if they spoofed his movie. He did not want Jaws turned into a joke. So they kind of ditched that idea. So a producer by the name of Alan Landsberg bought the rights to make the film. He attempted to bring on experimental filmmaker Murray Lerner, who ended up declining because he didn't like the script. So Joe Alves, who was the production designer for the first two films and also the second unit director on the second film, was brought on board to direct. John Alves, I believe Alves had, they had floated him as director of the second one after they fired their first guy, but ended up going with the other guy. But they filmed this on location at SeaWorld Orlando.
Yes.
And then the, ocean scenes at Navarre, Florida, like the last one. The script went through a lot of rewrites by various writers, as I think all the scripts have, including the guy who wrote Duel, Richard Matheson. He says the studio forced him to include the two Brody kids, although he thought it was a dumb idea. I have to say, he probably agree with him there.
Yeah.
He was also asked to write in a role for Mickey Rooney, but Mickey Rooney ended up not being available for the movie. So there you go. Gottlieb, who was the obviously the writer on the first two, had a rewrite on this movie. Dennis Quaid has stated that he used cocaine aggressively during the production of this movie, and that he was high in, quote, every frame he appears in.
He hides it pretty well.
Does he? We'll talk about it.
Kind of.
I mean, his eyes aren't bloodshot, so I guess there's that. But
Yeah.
obviously, this is Jaws 3D. So 3D was a gimmick. It became popular in the 80s. Obviously, this was around the same time as Amityville 3D and Friday the 13th Part 3 3D.
A lot of horror movies did it.
So it was really a cheap gimmick for low budget horror flicks. And this one is, no different.
No different.
Yeah. So did you know this movie actually got nominated for some awards? The Raspberry Awards.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The Golden Raspberries. It was nominated. This was early in the Raspberry. I think it was only like single digits in the Raspberry Award anniversary. But anyway, it was nominated for no wins, it's kind of surprisingly, but nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Supporting Actor, and Gossett Jr. I believe he plays like is he Australian? I don't know. The guy that shows up that's like the hunter celebrity dude or whatever.
Oh, God. That guy.
Yeah, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, and Worst New Star. Do you know who they nominated for the Worst New Star?
Who?
The Dolphins.
Wow.
I know. That's mean. Not their fault they're in this crappy movie. But anyway, Andrew, why don't you tell us what happened at the box office?
Well, you see, this movie was released July 22nd, 1983.
That's right.
A budget of $18 million.
That's right. So not really that low a budget.
Not low budget, no.
But only about half the budget of the last one. So.
Opened to $13.4 million domestically, second highest opening of 1983.
That's right.
Impressive, honestly, it got that much money in the first
Yeah,
weekend.
I mean, the Jaws name wasn't completely ruined before the opening weekend of this movie.
A total gross of $45.5 million.
Yeah.
Domestic. And a global gross of $88 million.
Yeah,
So it made its money back.
Still made its money back, and that is why we'll be getting a Jaws 4. But we'll tackle that beast when we get there. But yeah, so anyway, let's listen to the trailer for Jaws 3D, see how they sold this movie to the public, and then we'll come back, talk about the cast and crew, plot summary, and all about Jaws 3D. See you in a bit.
A creature alive today has survived millions of years of evolution. It lives to kill, a mindless eating machine that will attack and devour anything. One terrified you like nothing you have ever experienced when it captured your imagination and tapped your fear like no movie before it. Then, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, two continued the legend and spread the fear. Next summer, nature's most terrifying creature takes on an all-new dimension in an all-new adventure. And for the first time, the terror of Jaws will not stop at the edge of the screen. Jaws 3D. The third dimension is terror.
All right. The third dimension is terror. We'll debate that, but all right. So cast and crew directed by Joe Alves, written by Richard Matheson, Carl Gottlieb, and Gordon Trueblood. Music by Alan Parker. John Williams is gone. How's him? And starring Dennis Quaid, Bess Armstrong, Simon McCorkingdale, and Louis Gossett Jr. And the plot is more or less as follows. Years after the shark attacks that terrorized Amity Island, Mike Brody works as an engineer at SeaWorld Orlando alongside his girlfriend, Chief Biologist Kay Morgan. Mike's younger brother, Sean, visits the park and quickly develops a romance with Kellyanne, one of the water ski performers. Meanwhile, SeaWorld manager Calvin Bouchard is preparing for the grand opening of the park's newest attraction, a network of underwater tunnels that allows guests to observe marine life from beneath the surface. Trouble begins when the gates separating the park's lagoon from the open ocean become stuck, allowing a great white shark to enter the park while pursuing a group of water skiers. Soon after, a maintenance worker, Shelby Overman, disappears while attempting to repair the gates, as do 2 criminal divers who had secretly entered the lagoon under cover of darkness. Mike and Kay dive into the lagoon to search for Overman and are attacked by a 10-foot great white shark. Later, with the assistance of Philip Fitzroyce, a renowned hunter and adventurer and a friend of Calvin's, Mike and Kay capture the shark and nurse it back to health. Seeing an opportunity to profit from the rare specimen, Calvin places the shark on public display in one of the park's pools. The shark soon dies, however, putting an end to his plans. When the remains of Shelby Overman surface, Kay realizes the juvenile shark could not have been responsible for the attack. Based on the enormous bite radius found on the body, she concludes that the true killer is the young shark's mother, a massive great white estimated to be 35 feet long. The enormous predator soon confirms her fears when it appears outside the window of the park's underwater cafe, sending guests into a panic. The giant shark begins wreaking havoc throughout the lagoon, damaging park facilities and causing a leak in the underwater tunnel system. During the chaos, Sean and Kelly are thrown from a bumper boat, and Kelly is seriously injured. Sean accompanies her to the hospital while Mike, Kay, and Fitzroyce devise a plan to eliminate the shark. Fitzroyce and his assistant attempt to lure the shark into a large filtration pipe where it has been hiding. Although they succeed in trapping it, Fitzroyce is killed while trying to finish the creature off. The shark eventually breaks free and nearly kills Mike and Kay as they work to repair the damaged underwater tunnel. Mike manages to steal the tunnel in time, allowing the water to be drained and the park's guests to escape safely. Mike and Kay retreat to the underwater control room, where Calvin is coordinating emergency operations. The giant shark suddenly smashes through the room's glass observation window, flooding the control center. Amid the chaos, Mike spots Fitzroyce's body and notices a grenade still clutched in the hunter's hand. Thinking quickly, Mike pulls the pin and shoves the grenade into the shark's mouth, destroying the beast in a massive explosion. In the final scene, Mike and Kay celebrate their survival alongside SeaWorld's dolphins as the credits roll. I really downplayed the role of the dolphins in this movie. They're actually quite prevalent.
Yeah.
You know, when your movie involves dolphins helping to save the day, you're probably in trouble. Just saying. Well, there was a movie we were watching not too long ago where the dolphins, like, save the day. Was it Tentacles or something about a squid or something, wasn't it? I don't remember, but...
No.
Anyway, so
Not
yeah.
important.
We've both seen this movie before. It has been a long time since I had watched it. So I was fuzzy on the details. In fact, I had forgotten until I was Googling it for the notes that Dennis Quaid was in fact the star of the movie. I had definitely forgotten that he was playing Mike Brody and that this movie actually follows the Brody kids. So the franchise never actually gets away from the Brody family. It is a family saga, I guess. The Brody saga. But yeah. Did you have any memories coming in before you watched it?
Not much.
Not much. Well, I
only watched this like once.
Yeah, I did remember that it was Jaws 3D and that there was a heavy emphasis on
the 3D.
The 3D gimmick.
I love, the scene where they were, in the observation room. You can totally tell that there was meant to be 3D when the shark is coming at them.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll talk about that scene, but it starts early on. The opening scene is the underwater shark POV, and it bites a fish, and only the fish's head is left as the blood spills out, and the screen turns red, and the fish's head is obviously supposed to be 3D, and then of course the title card is supposed to be 3D. I don't know what it looked like in theaters. I mean, maybe it looked cool. When you're watching it on 2D, the 3D stuff is so obviously supposed to be 3D and it's really distracting. And, you can say the same thing for Friday the 13th 3D or probably, I don't think I've ever watched Amityville 3D, but any of those kind of gimmicky, even the more modern ones like that Journey to the Center of the Earth movie or whatever, where they're obviously doing some 3D gimmicky stuff. But... yeah, so I I was intrigued to come back. I knew it was going to be bad, but yeah, it opens with I guess SeaWorld thought this would be a great advertisement for their park where a giant killer shark sneaks into it. So they're actually filming on location at SeaWorld Orlando.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to meet Mike Brody. He's now an engineer
Yeah.
working
he's like
at
a
SeaWorld.
top brass person.
He's like, yeah, the lead engineer.
Mm.
And his girlfriend is the biologist, the chief biologist,
Yeah.
like the lead dolphin trainer lady.
They make good money.
I guess they're making good money from SeaWorld. And yeah, they're going to be the two main characters, really. Sean is in this movie.
Yeah.
He's really a supporting role, not even really that major of a supporting role. He kind of drops out. You know, he shows up, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And kind of blows in as just like visiting his brother. He'll have a subplot where he kind of has a fling with Kelly, who's Leah Thompson from the Back to the Future movies, and she's playing I guess she's like a water skier performer, like they do water ski shows or something. And they'll have a little romance, but he'll disappear again for the third act. So not really.
He goes to the hospital with Kelly.
Yeah, he goes to the hospital with her. Some of the other major characters, we have Calvin. I kind of vaguely remembered him. He is the park supervisor or the park
owner and
manager or whatever. And he's kind of a, pompous jerk, full of himself. And he's really excited about this new attraction they have, where it's like a series of underwater tunnels where people can just kind of walk, kind of like if you go to an aquarium and you walk through the shark tunnel or whatever, but it's like an underwater labyrinth actually in the man-made lagoon or whatever. So, I mean, kind of a neat idea, I guess.
Yeah.
And
until you get a 35-foot shark.
Yeah. And yeah, then we'll also have, like I said, the Australian guy or whatever, Fitzroy's. He's like a celebrity hunter, adventurer guy.
And he's Australian, supposed to be.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's what his accent is going for. But
he's trying the accent.
He's trying. It kind of waffles between British and Australian, but
I think it's supposed to be Australian.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Australian. But yeah, so the movie is.
You had to his assistant or whatever.
Yeah, he is the assistant guy.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is, I would say, early on you see where like the skiers are going through the gate. I don't know, does the shark cause the gate to get stuck, or does the gate just get stuck and that's how the shark sneaks through? I thought that the shark might have hit it, which is what got it stuck, but I'm not entirely sure the sequence of events there.
I'm pretty sure the shark
And
hit it.
I was confused later in the movie. So are we to believe that both sharks are in the park from here in this opening scene when it sneaks through the gate? We only see one fin. But later they'll say, the mob is inside the park, or whatever they say. So I'm not really sure on all of that. They'll say that the mom was hiding in a...
It does show a earlier scene where it shows the what was it? The tunnel...
The filtration pipe.
Filtration pipe. It shows the earlier scene with the big shark in the filtration pipe.
It shows that early in the movie?
Earlier in the movie.
Does it? And I think we're supposed to believe that all the deaths in this movie are the adult shark, right?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, because they'll make a big deal out of it. The maintenance worker or whatever that gets eaten. And I think the two underwater divers are also killed by the
mother shark.
By them. I think all the deaths were to conclude are by the mother shark. But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty evident early on. The acting is not very good. Dennis Quaid, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can tell that he's coked out of his mind, although he is. I mean, he seems pretty kind of hyperactive.
But he's pretty coherent.
But he's probably the most coherent person in the movie.
Yeah.
And he's not playing it like so outrageously big, like, some other infamous coked out performances.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think restrains the word, but he's not like he's not like just way overacting it compared to everybody else.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to tell that he's overly crazy. On
Yeah,
cocaine.
it's not like he just does a line and then immediately hops in frame. It's like, wow. But you know, he's. I mean, Dennis Quaid's okay in the movie, I guess. I think really the person I struggled with the most was Bess Armstrong, Kay, and she just, I don't know, she just was not doing it. She like her line deliveries were bad. Her emotions were.
He needs eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah. I did think the guy playing Calvin, he had some charisma.
Yeah.
He had some charisma.
He played
was
a mean boss pretty well.
Yeah, just kind of an overzealous boss, pretty good. And then the kid playing Sean, again, pretty kind of a non-factor. Like, you know, I didn't think about him a lot. At one point, I thought it was him that was like slipping into a Southern accent all of a sudden. But after finishing the movie, I think there was another park worker who kind of looked like Sean, just a little bit older. That was the guy talking in the Southern accent. You know. And then we also have Leah Thompson, whatever her name is. Again, Back to the Future star. She, again, a pretty minor supporting role, but, you know, she's fine when she's on screen. I don't have any real problems. There is a supporting character that is like the girlfriend of the guy that gets eaten or whatever. And she is kind of over the top and just like some really bad line deliveries. Like she gets mad at Dennis Quaid for some reason for her boyfriend being missing.
Because he's her boss. He's his boss.
Yeah, and all this. But yeah, I mean.
I'm mad at him, but I didn't want anything bad to happen to him.
So what happens? I don't know. It's about who I think is it the Shelby guy that gets eaten first? He goes down. I don't know. Maybe like 15, 20 minutes into the movie. And we see him. You can tell that they're cutting around the shark more than maybe, especially that second film. We'll talk about it. Maybe they're not as proud of the animatronic as they have been in the past. But he gets eaten and he goes missing. And then not long after that, we have a scene where these two guys are sneaking into the park to dive for.
Well, they showed a very extended shot of a lobster, not lobsters,
like crabs or shrimp or something.
Shrimp.
I think they were diving for the coral, like collecting the coral to sell or something. I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't really matter. They'll get eaten basically off screen. Like the one guy, the flashlight goes dark under the water, and then I think the other guy gets. Does he get pulled in or he hops in and gets pulled under? And then the boat I think Mammy Mom made the comment. We were watching it with our parents and the shark pops the boat and it sinks. She's like, oh, the shark doesn't even leave any evidence behind.
Yeah.
Smart shark. And yeah, so, I mean, there's some stuff happening, but you don't get a lot of it on screen. And then eventually Mike and Kay are going to go diving for the body and they all swim through like this dilapidated pirate ship thing they got under there, and they'll get attacked by a shark.
A little great white.
A little great white. They this is one thing that kind of bothered me. They kept calling it a juvenile great white, which, I mean, a 10-foot great white is probably not an adult great white, but that's not like a baby great white. That's a pretty big shark, right? Because even adult male great whites like max out usually at like 16 feet. And then they're going to try to act like this is just a wee little baby shark. It's like, okay, whatever. But they'll get attacked by the shark. They'll be okay.
Because she has that suit on.
Yeah, she has like her, like it looked like it's like chainmail. It looked like, I made the joke, it's like the Elvish Mithril armor or whatever that Frodo was wearing in Fellowship. But yeah, even though the bite force would still crush your organs, even if it didn't pierce the suit, whatever.
To be fair, it didn't hit. It had her tank, I think.
I think it bit her tank. I don't know if it ever actually bit her.
No,
it had her tank and threw her around a little bit. But anyway, so the shark, they figure out there's a shark, and then they're going to talk about what to do. The hunter guy wants to kill it, obviously. and I think Calvin does too, but Kay's like, well, there are no great whites in captivity. We could be the first park to have a great white in captivity or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go down there and dart it and then bring it up, and then they're going to put it in a pool, and she's going to jump in with it. And, they're going to have the whole sequence where they are like, you got to pump water through its gills, and then she's going to be swimming it around and reviving it. One thing that kind of bothered me with this movie is they'll have the thing where Sean, who obviously after that second movie is traumatized and doesn't like to go swimming, doesn't like the water.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that Dennis Quaid's character Mike was so kind of nonchalant, like when she's in the pool, like swimming the shark around, that he just like was like, oh, I'm just gonna jump in with you with this great white and swim it around with you. Like he has no PTSD of twice, like, because I think it was Mike that in the first movie saw the one guy get eaten in the lagoon or whatever, and then in the second movie again he got attacked by a shark, and he has no like reservation about jumping in the water with this shark or whatever. And to me it felt a little weird. I was like, shouldn't they both be like traumatized? And why is and he'll say about Sean like moving to the Midwest or whatever, as far from the water as he can.
California.
But why is...
Like,
did he say California? Well, that wouldn't be far from the water. That'd be the opposite side.
not California.
I thought he said something about Iowa or Illinois or something.
Something like in the middle of the state, in the middle of the United States.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to me that Mike is working at SeaWorld on the ocean, but, whatever.
Some people, have the opposite reaction.
I guess, maybe, but I don't know. It just kind of felt disingenuous to me, and it was weird that they just didn't play that up. But, whatever. This did go through a bunch of rewrites. Maybe he did have it in one of the drafts of the script that they dropped later on. I mean, I agree with the writer. I think that trying to tie this franchise, particularly by part 3, to the Brody family is silly. Like, what are the odds that these kids are going to encounter over the course of their life 3 gigantic great white sharks and in 2 different parts of the United States? I mean, we're getting into really, they were worried, Spielberg was mad that they were going to spoof the movie. I think it would have been more acceptable to do an intentional spoof than to make this, which is unintentionally spoofing the franchise. But, whatever.
Oh, well.
Whatever. But yeah, so, I mean, just to move along, she nurses the shark back to health, but then while she's not paying attention, Calvin is like, well, I want to make money off this thing now. So without her knowledge, he has it moved to a public pool, or like, a pool where people can view it. And of course it dies. Does the old belly up thing.
Because, it's not acclimated.
Yeah, it's not acclimated, and it is not swimming well. And anyway, so it dies, and then she's all upset. And it's around this time that Shelby's head finally like resurfaces or whatever. And
that's when it's in the the new place.
Yeah, the tunnels observation thing. And they pull it up out of the water. And she goes down and looks at the body, and she's like, oh, well, based on the bite radius, the baby shark couldn't have done that. Had to be the shark's mother.
Yeah.
And it's already inside the bark. And it's a 35-footer. We are getting bigger with each movie. We went, I don't know, the first 2 might have been about the same size. I don't remember what they said.
I don't know. What's the 4th one size? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but this one went from 25 to 35 feet. So we're getting
Maybe
bigger.
It's like 45.
We're getting like megalodon size here, but
megalodons are really big.
Well, megalodons they think grew up to about 60 feet, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So this is where the shark. We get the Jaws theme, and the shark. We get the cuts of it in the filtration pipe, and the filtration pipe. Calvin shut the pipe down because it had showed a blockage or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess now that the current's gone, the shark can get out or leaves the pipe because it's not
getting oxygen.
Because it's not getting oxygen or whatever. And this is where we finally get, I don't know, how far into the movie? Or was that about an hour into the movie or so maybe? And so now the big shark's going to come out and it's going to chase some water skiers around. I don't know how many people it actually eats. I don't feel like it actually eats that many people over the course of the movie, but it'll bite. Kelly is making Sean do like the bumper boats, like it's like bumper cars, but in the water.
Yeah.
And you know, to try to get him over his fear of water or whatever. And she'll get knocked in, they'll both get knocked into the water, and the shark will bite her leg.
Yeah.
And she'll get out. But I'm like, if a 35-foot great white bit your leg, that leg is gone. There's not some little gash in your leg. You're lucky if you escape with just a leg missing. But
35.
whatever.
Maybe it just grazed her.
Grazed her, yeah. But whatever. And then at some point it like rams the tunnel, and there's a whole big sequence where like there's guests in the tunnel, but then the water starts coming in, and then the bulkheads close, and they, the water fills up, and before the bulkheads can close all the way, and then they're stuck in the water and can't go anywhere. And Calvin, Kay was able to convince Calvin that there was a bigger shark, but it didn't matter because like as soon as she convinced him, then the big shark showed up, and that's where like flashed in front of the cafe window. Everybody freaked out. Yeah, so I don't know, like the sequence where it's like swimming around the lagoon is fine. It gives some action to this movie that desperately needed it. But eventually, what happens next? Sean, like I said, Sean drops out of this movie. They don't need him in this movie anymore. So he gets in the ambulance with Kelly. And I guess, they're talking with Fitzroyce or whatever. And they're like, well, how are we going to kill this thing? And they're like, well, we're going to lure it back into the pipe and then like seal the pipe. And
so they can fix the tunnel.
So that Mike can get in there and weld the tunnel shut so they can drain the water and let the park guests out. And I don't know, I got a little confused in the sequence of events here. Like, so Fitzroyce and his assistant are going to go in and lure the shark into the pipe and then close it. I got kind of confused at like what exactly was happening. So they lured him into the pipe.
Yeah, he lured him to his assistant.
The assistant welded it shut, but Fitzroyce like stayed in the tunnel.
No, remember, because there was the exit in the tunnel. They were explaining this whole.
Maybe I missed that, but there was like an escape hatch or something.
Yeah, there was an escape hatch at the end of the tunnel that he was going to get to and go up.
But he couldn't get out because
the safety rope got caught.
There was a rope and it got
It got caught, and then he had that whole extended sequence where he was in the shark's mouth.
Oh yeah, he got in the shark's mouth. He had a grenade.
Yeah,
and I guess he was gonna kill the shark. But yeah, we have one of the more interesting shots in the movie where the shark swallows him whole, and he dies. I guess.
But it shows him dying.
Yeah, it does show him dying.
The bite force, I guess, being in the mouth.
Because I don't know if the teeth ever actually crunched down on him. I guess just being in the.
I mean, I guess he would have enough bite force, when he just closed his mouth.
Maybe he suffocated too. I don't know, but
there was a lot of blood.
There was a lot of blood. Maybe the teeth did pierce him at some point, but
it was a lot more. And I think he bled out before he suffocated there.
Yeah. But then, the shark is gonna break out, and it's gonna Mike is gonna just finish welding in time, and then shark's gonna go over their heads as they go and hide on the other side of the tunnel. But they're able to drain the water, and the guests go to safety, and everybody's happy. They need to give that tour guide a raise. The way she kept calm, she kept the people as calm as she could. She did a great job. But
she was like the perfect employee.
right. And anyway, so Mike and Kay are gonna go back to the control room, which is also underwater, right? It has that big viewing, and it really, you forget that this is really right at the end of the movie where you get the infamous shot of the shark. And we'll talk more about it in effects, I'm sure, but where the shark comes out the observation window, and then it's supposed to be like some grand 3D effect.
Because it was so cheesy, guys, oh my goodness.
They
coming.
They do the whole slow-mo thing, and and
then when it hits the window, it's supposed to be 3D.
Yeah, we're not watching it.
And the shark's supposed to come out, and it was oh
yeah.
no. And then the water slowly rushed in.
Yeah, now at least they did like flood the room. That was kind of neat, but
Was that his nephew that got everything to control? Because he called him nephew before, and like several times.
Calvin's nephew?
Yeah.
I have no
Because
idea.
he said nephew several times.
Maybe it was, but is he the one that dies?
Yeah, he's the one that get eaten.
Yeah, he gets eaten. Somebody gets eaten.
Calvin saves the girl out there.
Yeah, him and Kay like get out, and then Mike.
No, it's him and the other girl.
Oh, the other girl. You're right.
The other girl that was the computer.
Yeah, and Kay got out, right?
Kay and Mike got out.
Well, Mike didn't get out because he got the like pole thing and got the grenade that he saw because he saw Fitzroyce's body with conveniently facing forward with the grenade still clutched in his hand. Man, these sharks, if they could just keep shit out of their jaws, they would
Jaws.
right? They would live. But he gets like this hook pole, and pulls the pin on the grenade, and it blows up the shark head. And
And then him and Kay get out.
get out, and it was supposed to be this 3D effect, I'm sure.
Where it blows up and all the
And
organs.
I didn't mention it earlier, but earlier when the shark came at them after it escaped the tunnel. Okay, what's the first time? The dolphins, I think, when they get attacked by the little shark, right? They call the dolphins to them, and the dolphins come and like whisk them away or whatever.
Yeah.
And then again, when the big shark broke out of the pipe and he was trying to weld it, the dolphins came and kind of were like, doing that thing where they like rammed the shark with their nose or whatever. And you kind of think that one of the dolphins might have gotten eaten. It's kind of nebulous about whether one of them got eaten or not.
Yeah.
And then here at the end, the one dolphin's going to come back, and then she's calling for the other one that we thought might have gotten eaten. And then in a full-blown, like, Free Willy type moment, the other dolphin's going to come back up, and they're all happy, and the movie ends on a freeze frame with the two dolphins
spinning
on either side of the screen, spinning and jumping up and doing their little spin thing with Kay and Mike in the middle of the frame, and it does a freeze frame, and I'm like,
okay, going.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, that's a Disney BS thing if I've ever seen it, but whatever. Fitting into this movie, honestly, probably. But,
SeaWorld.
yeah, SeaWorld. I'm surprised they didn't have like Visit
And
SeaWorld
they did
Orlando.
Shamu.
Yeah, at one point Shamu was there. Shamu, they've closed the Shamu thing several years ago now, but
It would have been more than several years.
oh, that Blackfish documentary came out in like 2016 or 14, 16, something like that.
That was 10 years. That was over 10 years ago.
God, don't remind me. But yeah, they had all the SeaWorld attractions at some point in some montage. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the best advertisement for your business that, hey, a shark may break in and eat you, but...
May break into the Sea Gate and eat you, but,
Well, yeah, whatever.
Have a fun time at SeaWorld.
Have a fun time anyway, but... back in these days, anybody would attach their name to these Jaws movies and try to get their name out there, but whatever. But yeah, so listen, I mean, it's a silly movie. It's a silly movie that, if you're going to have any enjoyment of it, you need to go in knowing it's a silly movie. The question is, can you enjoy like the, so bad it's good elements of it? I did at times. I mean, I kind of laughed at some of the 3D gimmick stuff that we're not watching in 3D. I think some of the lines are so bad they're funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it is dull in a lot of it, but
Fitzroy's accent.
that accent, yeah. It is dull in a lot of it. I wish, especially in the first half of the movie, I wish there was more going on. And we'll talk about some of the notoriously bad effects. But I also have to say I didn't hate watching it this time around. How about you?
It wasn't the worst one. I think, was it better than Blue Sea 2?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this movie, at least, you can laugh at it. Like you can have fun with it, even if it's terrible. Deep Blue Sea 2 is just like putting me to sleep like, oh my God, was this going to be over? no question there. But yeah, but anyway. You want to do some creature design?
Sure.
Well, listen, I will say that we have two different sharks, right? The first shark, the little shark. It's a 10-foot great white. They have a little, I don't even know if it's an animatronic or just like a
It did not look
like a puppet thing they've got, but they do have one really bad shot, like when it first shows up, like he pointed out, when it like rams its head into the boat or whatever.
Like it's got a problem.
They just got like a little head shark and just put it on a pole and like rammed it into the boat or whatever. Now that did look bad. Now the little thing that they've got swimming around with them in the pool, it looks fine.
I think that's a real shark footage.
No, that was a fake shark.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looked fine.
Some of it is real shark footage.
I mean, oh yeah, some of the stuff underwater is real shark footage.
A lot of it is.
But with the small shark at least.
The big shark, no, yeah.
But the big shark, and then listen, the animatronic for the big shark I thought looked okay for the most part. I didn't think it looked terrible.
It didn't look nearly as good as the first two.
No, I mean, I think it definitely was more limited in its mobility. You can definitely tell they were cutting around it more, especially in the attack scenes. Like those first two like movies, you would see the animatronics like biting down on the actors and grazing past them and doing all that. I felt like they cut around it a lot more when it came to like biting people and swimming by people.
Yeah.
And also maybe because the animatronic probably wasn't as big as they were saying the shark was, so that might have been some of it too. But I didn't think it looked terrible. Like we've seen movies, and of course this is an $18 million movie, and it should be better than some of the B creature features we watched. But we've watched creature features with much worse, animatronics and puppets than this shark.
Yeah.
I think where the movie gets into some real trouble effects wise is, the effect. First of all, the 3D gimmick. When you're not watching it in 3D, and obviously in retrospect, it looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Any scene that they're trying to do the 3D gimmick on. And even in some of the scenes where they've converted this film to 2D, and I don't even think they were really supposed to be like standout 3D moments, the movie looks out of focus quite a bit.
Yeah.
Especially like on the margins, and it just doesn't look very good. But yeah, I mean, some of the 3D scenes look really bad with like the floating hands and the floating fish head. And then, of course, we've got to talk more in depth about it. The notorious breaking through the observation window scene. It looks so bad. And it is like the one scene that everybody remembers from this movie. And it's why everybody, I think, hates this movie. Because you have the shark, like a static image of the shark.
A very static image.
Coming like towards the glass. You can't even see the glass.
You don't even know it's glass.
Yeah. So you don't even know like the camera's supposed to be behind the glass. And you have the slow-mo sequences of everyone's reaction shots.
You don't even know it's coming towards the observation window.
And as the static image of the shark is moving towards, and then you don't even like know where the glass is, and then all of a sudden like glass shatters in a terrible 3D effect. And then the shark, like you said, I think it's supposed to be like popping out of the screen.
Yeah.
But it's not, obviously.
And it's right before it, Brody was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah. And so that looked pretty bad. And then I think it's also a disappointment, like when they set the grenade off, because the first two movies had some really impressive shark deaths, just from a technical perspective.
Yeah.
That first movie when they blew up the shark, I mean, they really blew up that shark. And then the second film, like when they electrocuted that thing, I mean, they actually like burnt that shark puppet. Here, like it just looks like it blows up, it cuts, and then someone like just dumped a bunch of red dye in some water or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, whatever.
And then, they horribly animated teeth and stuff coming out of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, the jaws. The jaws like floating out of towards the screen or whatever.
And it's supposed to be coming out at you.
Which I don't know if that was early CG or what that was, but yeah, that looked terrible. So yeah, I mean the effects are not good. Not good at all. And then a lot of like the green screen stuff. Anytime there's like green screen and stuff, which pretty frequent in the other underwater scenes, again, probably because, whereas the other animatronics were actually like life size, like 20, 25 foot animatronics, which was the size the shark was supposed to be. I doubt they built a 35 foot animatronic.
So they probably had like a 20.
They probably had like a 20 foot animatronic or something, and then they had to like do some green screen work to make it look bigger than it actually was. Yeah. But whatever.
And the roar that the shark did.
The roar?
Yes.
Yeah, because sharks don't roar. Yeah, I know.
That was like, why did you put that there?
I know. I agree. I don't think this is the first time the shark has roared, but yeah, I agree. It's silly. Sharks don't
It
roar.
roared in every scene, Aaron.
It did. Yeah, there was like a roar effect, wasn't there? Yeah, it was silly. But anyway, score. They will reprise John Williams' theme
Yeah.
quite a bit. And of course, anytime John Williams' shark theme is playing, like, I'm happy. The new original stuff is kind of silly. Feels kind of like I don't know, like a silly adventure movie theme at times or something.
Yeah.
And
like the Goonies.
Like, yeah. And it's just kind of out of place. Feels a little out of place, but it's whatever. But yeah, you ready for some final thoughts?
Sure.
Well, why don't you go for it?
Well, this movie's alright. The acting is there. It's not the greatest.
No,
but it's
definitely
not the worst. It's better than Deep Blue Sea 2.
Well, I mean, yeah, this was a theatrically released movie. I would expect it to be. I'd hope so.
Everybody, they did their best. They said their lines. Dennis Quaid is on cocaine, so how bad could it be?
It could be pretty bad.
It had Dennis Quaid in it.
Yeah, you keep telling me. I mean, you kept saying before you sat down to watch it, it has Dennis Quaid in it. Like, that was some net positive. I was like, oh, okay.
Dennis Quaid's a decent actor.
I mean, yeah, Dennis Quaid's had some good performances, but
he is an actor.
Honestly, I've seen Dennis Quaid give some really big performances, like over the top performances, like
that you think he was on cocaine.
Yeah, like recently here, like The Substance. I mean, he was like just an over the top villainous character in that. I mean, I wish he would have played it bigger than he did in this movie. Honestly, give me some more, like,
Maybe without the cocaine, he's way crazier.
Maybe sober he's worse. I don't know.
Maybe the cocaine kept him calm. The opposite effect on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, the score in this, it's a decent score, It had John Williams reprise score or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe rewritten a little bit, make it more 3D-ish. 3D score,
3D score?
If that's even possible. But, I think it was a decent movie all around, It's flawed. Very flawed.
Flawed jaw.
Flawed jaws. Jaws flawed.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a C plus.
Okay, like, yeah. I mean, listen, if you go on like Rotten Tomatoes or Letterboxd, this thing has a shockingly low score. Like, people really hate this movie. And I say that, yeah, it's not a good movie. I'm under no false pretense that it's a good movie. It's a silly movie. It's objectively a bad movie. I mean, the fact that the Brodies are encountering a third giant shark, the fact that the shark is 35 foot long with no real explanation. The effects are bad. The acting's bad. The fact that we've got to continue to follow the Brody family, even though, like, I don't feel like we have any real more stories to tell with them.
Did the fourth one follow the Brody still?
Oh, yeah. We're still... In fact, they even get the mom back. What was her name? Lorraine, whatever. I think the fourth one pretends this one doesn't exist. Not that that's saving it. But yeah, it's a bad movie. But I also didn't hate watching it. Like, I thought that the shark animatronic worked well enough. I had some fun with some of the bad qualities. Like, I was kind of smiling with the bad 3D gimmick and some of the bad dialogue and all that. I thought a couple of the shark attack scenes looked okay. Especially relative to some of these other really cheap creature feature movies we've been watching. The fact that they filmed it on location in SeaWorld and gives it a bit of an authentic quality. So that they're not filming it on the cheap sets or something. So, yeah, I didn't hate watching it. I think it may be a little overhated, but I don't know. I'll give it like a C minus. It was whatever.
It's whatever. But,
yeah. Anyway, don't have any real news to talk about. We have 2 more movies in our Sharkathon. We have Deep Blue Sea 3.
Oh.
coming to you next week. And then the following week, before we go to G Fest, will be Jaws the Revenge. So looking forward to that. I've been on a bit of a Ishiro Honda kick. I rewatched Matango the other day, and I rewatched Mothra the other day. So I've been enjoying some. I rewatched Son of Kong last night. I've been on a monster kick in general, I guess. So
Yeah.
enjoying some of those old classics. But anyway, Andrew, do we have anything else really to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it for this week.
All right. Well, don't forget that you can always contact us at stormthisway1954@gmail.com.
You can find our website at www.stormthisway.wordpress.com.
That's right. And you can also find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and X, all at Stomp This Way. So check us out over there. And don't forget, again, next week will be the straight to video Deep Blue Sea 3. So check it out or don't check it out and just go straight to our review, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. But anyway, as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And we'll see you next time.